Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Dr. Nitasha.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Fine, ma'am.
Good to see you all. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, let's start. Good evening, dear participants. Welcome to the day 5, that is the last day of our faculty development program on research methodology, as today is the last day. So today we'll learn the final steps of research process, that is research report writing with the proper citation and referencing style. With that, just a second. With that, we'll learn the various ethical considerations that have to be followed by us while writing good quality paper. So, as per the program schedule, today we have two sessions. Session 1 will be on research report writing and referencing styles that will be delivered by respected Professor IQAC Chanu ma'am. She is from Department of Commerce, Porolon University of Assam. And second session will be on research ethics that will be delivered by respected Professor Naval Kishore sir from the School of from the School of Management Studies, IGNOU, New Delhi. So, welcome, ma'am, to our 5 days faculty development program on research methodology. So, I like to say a few things about ma'am. Ma'am is very kind and sweet. She always
Thank you.
she always treat her students like as her own children. So this kind of sweet gesture actually makes her unique and special to others. Thank you, ma'am, for your blessing on me and accepting our request for this FDP. Thank you very much, ma'am. So with this, I would like to remind our participants that today assessment link will be shared, and that link also will be opened till 10 p.m. today. And certificate, you will get the certificate only after submitting this assessment form. And one more thing, that at the end of the valedictory session, we'll take one group photo. So after announcement from our side, everyone will be requested to keep their cameras on. So with this, now I'd like to request moderator of today's session, Dr. Saurabh Hazurika, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics of PDUAMT Tulungia, kindly to introduce Chanu ma'am. Mr. Saurabh?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Nitasha ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I, on behalf of the organizing committee, would like to welcome you all again to the last day of the 5-day faculty development program. Today we'll be having two sessions. For the first session, we have amongst us Professor A.I. Chanu ma'am. And before moving on to her talk, I take this opportunity to first introduce our esteemed resource person, Professor Chanu ma'am. Ma'am has done her Masters in Commerce and PhD from Manipur University. She is currently serving as the Head, Department of Commerce, Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Management, Porolon University, Kokrajhar, Assam. Her research areas include entrepreneurship, finance, marketing, international business, etc. Ma'am has a research and teaching experience of 15 years, and she has already guided 12 PhD scholars and currently guiding 6 PhD scholars. Professor Chanu ma'am has, to her credit, over 50 research papers and 5 book chapters. Among her several professional achievements, to name a few, ma'am was nominated 2 times for the top 10 best papers of the MSM Gold Medal Award in Empirical Research Presentation of Conferences of Indian Commerce Association 2016. And ma'am was awarded the Outstanding Faculty Award in Commerce in 2015 by Venus International, Chennai. We are indeed lucky to get this opportunity to hear from you, ma'am. Now, may I request ma'am to please deliver her talk. Please, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Saurabh Hazarika. Thank you so much. I hope I'm audible to each and everyone. If there is any issue, then kindly inform me immediately. So, good evening, everyone. At the very outset, I would like to convey my heartfelt thanks to our Dr. Nitasi Burman for inviting me and for giving me an opportunity to interact with the participants and to share some of my ideas as well as some of the informations which I had collected from different sources for the upcoming researchers. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nitasri, and thanks to all the organizing committee members. The IQAC of this college. I hope I am audible to each and everyone.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me let me share this slide so that I can start it, because we are having only 55 minutes in our hand. We have to finish it, right? Okay, yeah. Yes. Hope everyone can see this.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So if anyone is having any issue, kindly let me know immediately. Okay. So let me devote today's discussion on report writing as well as the referencing style. It will be, I hope, it will be a different way of interaction. It is not just like, delivering a lecture, not like that. Okay. So all the participants, please be interactive with me, and I will always request you by asking that whether you understand or not, or you are listening or not in that way. Okay, so hope you will give a prompt reply. Okay, so now coming to that report writing. Okay, so whatever we are doing or whatever we have done, so we have to report. So today my session will be concentrated on basically the PhD, okay, and any form of projects. When you submit the project, then after the completion of the project, you have to submit a report. So I will concentrate on these two things. One is the PhD thesis writing or dissertation writing. Another one is the project report writing. Okay, so here I would like to inform you that everyone will accept me that any form of research or any journey of any form of research or PhD journey requires more than just research, because there is a need to master the art of report writing. We may know many things, we have done many things, but if we do not know how to submit in a scientific way, how to write in a scientific way, then whatever we have done will be meaningless. So why should we be the master in report writing? My question is that to all the participants who are here. So the answer is that better the presentation, higher the attention and attractiveness. We all want a very good result. Though in Gita it is said that काम करो उसके बारे में मत सोचो. But I do firmly believe that everything should be output oriented, right? Hope you will agree with me. So my today's deliberation is aiming to equip you with the skills to craft a compelling and impactful thesis or dissertation after this program. This IQAC is organizing for 5 days this FDP. So after attending this program, I do feel that all of you will develop the skill to craft, a very good report, and your report will be a different report from the others. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, coming to that here, this is, I will not say what is report, okay? Because most of you have already done PhD. I think so, Dr. Tandalem Kasab, I have seen here, some of the faculty members are also here in this platform. So let me start with the report writing, okay? So what are the elements to be kept in our mind? Though most of you have done PhD, okay, you might have committed certain mistakes, right? Okay, so what are to be kept, particularly what are to be kept in our mind? So number one, so whenever we write any report, it may be dissertation, it may be thesis, it may be project report. So we should write for the wider academic community because our works will be scrutinized. We should encourage to scrutinize our work. We should encourage to give the feedback. So when there is a wider academic community, okay, if we target, then we will get better feedback. Second is that here, when we write, we should anticipate the questions. What type of questions are to be asked by others? And we have to address them proactively. Means that we have to develop ourselves. What are the questions to be asked? Third is that I would like to give an emphasis here that maintain a professional and the objective voice. Whenever we write any thesis, any dissertation, any project report, final report, okay? Next is that we should avoid using overly casual language or jargon. For example, in many theses, I have seen that, and in many reports, I have also seen that. Suppose a lot of works, what does it mean? A lot of literature, a lot of studies, a lot of data. Okay, this is a very casual. The term lot, L-O-T, is a very casual. So then nowadays, it has started using this guy, okay, gonna. So such type of words we should avoid. And fifth one we should keep in our mind is the clarity and the conciseness are key when we write any report. Now here, before writing that, research report, again, I would like to mention here regarding the defining the research question. We have to define why, here, and how. Okay, so here it should be clear and focused. Okay, I will here show the steps of research report writing also. So before that, let me focus on defining the research question too, because all of us or all of you will will be, having a command over writing the report. That's why let me focus this issue also on this platform, that is defining the research question. You have to define. So research question is a very, very important. There may be one research question, there may be two research questions, 3, 4, 5, whatever you want. Okay, so it should be very clear and focused. It means that, research questions should be very, very specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. At the meantime, I would like to mention here that a well-defined research questions will guide your research, as well as it will provide a framework for your report. So if your research question is not clear, is not focused, then writing a good research report is very, very difficult. At the meantime, coming to the literature review too, sometimes we find the unnecessary studies are also mentioned in the report in order to show the higher number of studies. So it is done. It should never be done by any researcher or by any person in conducting the research and in submitting the report. Okay, so why we go for literature review and how we will do it? So here, conducting a thorough literature review is necessary to establish the existing knowledge base and identify research gap. So unrelated or unnecessary studies should not be there when we write the
Hello, ma'am.
literature. Yes.
Sorry for interruption. Are you changing the slide?
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to change the slide?
It is not working, ma'am.
Is it so? So now you can, yeah.
Yes, now it is okay.
Is it working?
Yes, ma'am.
So you can change the slide also if it is necessary. Okay. Do you want to change the slide?
It's
Am
okay.
I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
1 second. Let me off the video so that, okay, here. Just, okay. Am I audible at this point of time, Nitasri?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, I will ask the questions, whether I am audible or visible or not. Okay, so hope this slide is visible to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, so the third one is the research significance. So here, all the researchers, should articulate the contribution of their research. Okay, and their potential implications. So now we will start writing our report. So before writing the report, okay, let me tell you four important documents, four important things that we have to keep in our mind. We should be ready for that. So, and the four important elements that we have to, take into consider. So whether our research will be, or whether your research will be primary database research. So when we go for primary database research, then so we all know that we have to conduct surveys, interviews. For science, it may be experiments or other data collection methods, whatever, any methods. So to gather the facts and evidence. So if our work is the secondary database research, then we have to utilize other sources that all of us know that. Again, in case of data analysis also, okay, we have to use the appropriate methods to uncover meaningful insights and patterns. The last one which I would like to mention here is about the documentation, because we will go for now research report writing. So documentation is very, very important part of report writing. So here I would like to suggest to keep meticulous notes and track the sources diligently to ensure accuracy and avoid plagiarism. So next slide, I'm going here. Now let's go to the crafting the dissertation or thesis structure. So Dr. Nitasri is waiting, I think, for this. Can you see the slide? Can you see the slide? Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Now, coming to this main area of report writing. So whenever we write any report, mainly there are three parts of. First is the preliminary part. Here you see, I'm just referring now the PhD thesis as well as the project report. Apart from this cover page, here the certificates are to be there. What are the certificates? It may be plagiarism one, it may be the certificate from your supervisor, okay? Then acknowledgements. I will always encourage to present better acknowledgement. Preface is very, very important because the reader will know from the preface that a researcher's capability, at least. Then the contents, etc. will be there. Your list of table, abbreviations, list of charts, list of figures, etc. will be shown in the preliminary part of your report. Second part is the body, main body of your research. So it is known as the chapters. So basically, in all the reports, we may have 5 chapters. So the first one is the introduction. Everyone knows it. Either we can use as a prologue. The last one we can use epilogue. So if it is introduction, then the last one will be always conclusion. So what are to be there in the introductory part of any research? Means the introductory, this is first chapter. In the first chapter, what are to be there? So here, you please provide an overview of the research questions, as I mentioned in my second slide, not third slide, sorry. So you please provide an overview of your research question, background of your research, what you are going to do, and the structure of your report. Basically, we call it what? Chapterization plan. So from the first chapter, we will understand, or the reader will understand, in which direction a researcher is going to do. Second is that review of literature. So all of us know that what is review of literature. It is what? It is about summarizing existing research relevant to the topic that a researcher is undertaking and highlight gaps in the literature. I will not repeat the types of review of literature. In this FDP, already it was discussed, I hope so. So, you may follow either descriptive or any form of review of literature style which is widely accepted. Then you can find out the gaps. If you cannot find out the gap, then I hope it will be very difficult to conduct the research, because the main objective of any research is to fill up the gap. So we have to find out the gap at any cost. It may be, related to your research methodology. Okay, there also you can do it. So coming back to this research methodology, the third chapter, sometimes nowadays we find that in each and every chapter, research methodology is mentioned, or in the first chapter, means the introduction, research methodology is also included. But it is better to have a separate chapter on research methodology. Am I audible, my dear participants?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, thank you very much. So here, we have to explain what type of methods to be applied, okay, while writing the report. What I'm mentioning here is that how the data were collected, what type of data collection design was used by the researcher. Then what will be what was the analysis procedure? In the report writing, so there is no plan you have already used that is to be reported. So what procedure that a researcher had used or had applied, so these are to be clearly mentioned in this chapter. Now, then, very important area is that results and discussion in the chapter number 4. Here, not in the title of results and discussion. What here I'm trying to say is that here, whatever the findings of your research are to be here. So it is better to report, okay, different chapters, that is objective-wise chapter, if possible. What I am telling is that, if you have 3 objectives, for example, you may have separate 3 chapters. Instead of having only 1 chapter, objectives-wise chapter, you may prepare. So your findings are to be clearly as well as objectively presented. Sometimes I have seen that so many findings are, shown, are presented in the subjective way. In research, we should avoid, at any cost, we should avoid. We should be very, very careful in writing, and it should be objectively reported. Now, how can you do it? You can use tables, you can use graphs, and you have to use figures, maybe, to support your data. You cannot say that I was collecting, and I thought that I found all those things. I thought that people might think this. No, not in that way. Exactly 70% of the respondents, 90% of the respondents, majority of the respondents. It means if it is about 50%, like that. And you have to interpret the results. You see, when you interpret the results, it should be in relation to the research questions that you had put, as well as the existing literature. When you interpret your reason, and if it is not related with your research question, then what is the use of that? So, whatever you interpret, it should be related to your research question that you have put in your thesis, in your dissertation, in your report. At the meantime, whether your findings are in the line of the existing literature, or whether your finding is totally new, so you have to report here. Then what can be derived? How these findings can be useful? How will you interpret? Okay, that is very, very important. So you can do in your own way. It should be very innovative, I will say, Innovation is very much necessary at this point of time. Okay. So after writing the results and discussion and interpreting all your findings, the last chapter for your report writing will be the summary and conclusion. So here, summarize your main findings in this chapter. You can summarize all the chapters that you have written in your report. You may show the major findings only. Then you can write here and you can discuss the significance of your findings, as well as you have to generalize your conclusion. Here I am not mentioning any statistical tools and techniques because already you have done, I feel so. Okay, so you have to generalize your conclusion. After that, you have to suggest direction for future research. If you do not suggest for future research, what is the use of your research? I will tell them. Because no one is perfect. There may be many limitations in your research. In your report, it will be shown. Whenever we do anything, there are lots of limitations. There are a number of limitations. We are not perfect. So those things may be, taken up in the future by other researchers. So it is to be beautifully mentioned in our report. Whenever we write any research report, then after that, we have to show the references or bibliography. Sometimes it is shown that after each and every chapter, we see the references. And sometimes also we see that after the end of the report, the references. When we write a research paper, that is after the, research paper, so we write the references. But as far as thesis, dissertation, and the project report is concerned, so after each and every chapter, we used to put the references. And after that, at the end, we go for bibliography. So here, this is what. Here, we have to list all the sources cited in the report, and we have to use a consistent citation style. So my next part will be devoting to the referencing style, what is to be followed by a scholar or by a researcher. So the third part, as I had mentioned you, whenever we write any report, 3 parts are there. So the last part is the appendix. There, if you use questionnaire interview schedule, list of publications, seminar paper presentations, if it is secondary data that had been extracted from the government reports, then you can keep there. So all those, which have not been put inside that, within, the chapters from chapter 1 to 5, you can put it here. So let me change the slide. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yeah. So I have mentioned you the format of the report writing. So I'm using in a very simple way, and I'm explaining in a very, very simple way. So here, coming to the writing effective sections. Okay. So as I have mentioned you that you should have the supporting evidence. Whatever you write, there should be an evidence. There should be clear transitions to create a cohesive narrative whenever you report it. I would like to mention here also that list format. You please employ list to present key points. steps in a process or finding in a very clear and concise manner. It's better to use the visual aids when you write any report. So what I mentioned here is that it may be graph, it may be figure to illustrate your data. Whenever there is a complex concept, it's better to use this visual aids. So always use the supporting evidence. You may use quotes, okay? Citation is very much necessary from the credible sources to back up your claim. You are saying that India's economy is growing, right? India is a developing economy. How can you say that? So you have to give the evidence. Am I audible?
Yes.
Now, yeah. Okay, we have 20 minutes, more
Yes,
20
ma'am.
minutes. Yeah. Okay. Then you see, you please revise and editing. Now your work is to be completed, right? Okay. You please revise before the submission of the report. Content review. Okay, here 3 things I would like to mention here. That whether you should ensure that your report is well organized, coherent, or it addresses your research questions effectively or not. You please revise. You have to check the grammar, sentences. Nowadays, there are a number of softwares, right? You can use it. So you check your error, grammatical error, sentence structure, even the word choice, so that you can ensure clarity and the conciseness. No need for using different type of words which have a low number of meanings. Oh, you need the clarity. So third thing is a clarity and flow. Whenever you write any report, there should be a flow. Make sure your arguments that you are presented, it should be logically, and the flow of your writing is easy to follow, easy to understand by the reader, easy to understand by the examiner if it is a thesis. So next is plagiarism report. Nowadays it is a what to say, necessary part, right? You may use different softwares. Institutions provide different softwares nowadays to deal with for the institutions. So here we have to be very much careful. We have to use plagiarism software so that we can know that how much similarity level is there. So proper citation is very much necessary. Otherwise, the plagiarism level may be increased. Now, coming to the next slide, I'm going to finish it. Okay, so bibliography and appendices. Yes, I have already mentioned, and now I am going to devote another 15 minutes on references, how to write. Here, as I mentioned, as far as references is concerned, we have to list all the sources cited in our report using a consistent format. If you are using APA format, please use APA format. If you are using MLA format, then you please. IIE format, yes. Chicago format, there are a number of. But you please use. But many institutions may ask a different type of, referencing style. So you have to follow according to the journal, according to the institution. So you have to follow. It may be either APA, either MLA, either Chicago. Yeah, MLA is for humanities, basically, for arts. So, or Hubbard. So I'm going to discuss. So appendices, as I have already mentioned. Then formatting, okay, it is also very much important because some institutions may ask 12 point, some institutions may ask 13 point, or Roman, okay, times Roman. So you have to be very much careful. Now this is the last slide for this, part. This is the report writing. You have to proofread very carefully. Most of the time I see when I check the thesis, very careless, very casual nowadays. So it should not be encouraged at any cost. So you please read through your report meticulously, okay, to ensure accuracy. I am repeating accuracy, clarity, and consistency. In the research report, it is very much important. Maintaining the consistency is very, very important. Then you please submit on time. And then after the submission, you please elaborate your achievement. So this is all about the report writing. Main part was mentioned in my fourth slide. That is how to write a report. So thank you very much. Now let me go to the second part. That is the different types of references. So let me close it. Yeah. Any question for 2-3 minutes so that I can't, know whether you are really listening or not.
Good evening, ma'am. Myself, Pratyusha from Kolkata.
Okay.
I just wanted to know that when you're saying that for this illustrating the report, like we
Yes.
can use the bar diagrams or the graphs. Ma'am,
Yes.
simultaneously, can we use the photographs like for regarding the FGDs or the probably case studies as we are dealing?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes,
Can
of
we use the
course.
photographs?
Yes, yes, you have to use. You have
Okay,
to
ma'am.
use, okay, in case of the case studies, okay, and the, in the appendix session, I will always encourage all the researchers to use certain pictures, okay, and in this case also, you see, uh, you know, when you conduct your research, your research may be qualitative research. Means that you may apply, qualitative research approach or quantitative research approach or mixed research approach. When you use the qualitative research approach, it is highly encouraged. Okay, highly
Okay.
encouraged to use the pictures. Okay, because your sample size will be very small in the
Mm-hmm.
qualitative research. So picture speaks a lot also.
These are
Okay.
the proofs.
Yes,
Proofs
this is the
also
proof. Yes, 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 yes.
that we are conducting the workshops or the
Yeah, yeah,
meeting
yeah.
with the people in the community or like that.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
ma'am. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
okay. My pleasure, madam. Now can we move to this one, referencing style? Ah, okay. Let me share the slide. If we have the enough time, we can, do a number of exercises, but time is very limited. We are having only 15 minutes. So, Dr. Nitasri, are you in a
Yes, ma'am.
position to see the slides, examples
Yes,
of
ma'am.
different referencing styles? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm just, refreshing you. Okay. You all know, I know that. Yeah. Okay. So, coming back to these different types of referencing. So, why referencing? My question is that why referencing? When we accept something, most of the time, when we accept something, you know, we sometimes forget, you know. I hope all of us will agree. It's not a good sign, right? So, referencing is nothing. Referencing is acknowledging the, people, because they have done studies. We use their studies. We get the information, we get the knowledge from their studies, and then we write our work. So we should be very much careful when we write. And I will say that this is an acknowledgement. Referencing is nothing. It is an acknowledgement. Okay? Then we can also say that, the other researchers, can find out if we want to study something, if we want to analyze something from our research. So we are giving a scope for the readers also, right? Okay. Then at the meantime, when we give better referencing, I will say that it demonstrates the credibility of a researcher's work. And in the meantime, if we give proper referencing, it will avoid similarity. So by giving a credit to the original authors, original researchers, we are giving acknowledgement of their contributions, and we are ensuring that our writings is ethically sound. We have copied, that we have to acknowledge. So it's not good to claim that we have done it, right? If our mother is cooking and we are serving the food to our others, we should say that food was prepared by my mother, instead of saying that I prepared this food. No. So it is not acceptable. So this is about referencing, I will say. So why referencing is very important now? Okay, academic integrity. All of us are in the teaching profession. And some of you may be in teaching profession. Some of you may not be in teaching profession, but you will be in the teaching profession, or you may be a researcher also. FDP to Faculty Development Program, I assume that all of you are in the teaching profession. So we have to acknowledge. Okay? So this is about academic integrity. As I mentioned, readers' guidance and the credibility. So research transparency. Nowadays, transparency. Okay? It's very important. So from research transparency, here, we allow the readers to track the research process and evaluate the reliability of the sources. Okay? So next is that, now let me come to the commonly used referencing style. Nowadays, the technology is in your hand. Google Baba is giving you everything to you, right? Okay? So you can use Google also to find out all these things. So commonly used referencing styles are, American Psychological Association, this APA style, 7th edition, nowadays this commonly used, okay? So basically it is used in social sciences, right? In most of the journals also you will find, APA style, in most of the thesis also we find the APA style of referencing. So in psychology, in sociology, in commerce and the management, even in education, okay, that APA style is used. Another is that MLA. That is a modern language association. It is commonly used in humanities, such as literature, language, as I had mentioned in my previous deliberation. Hubbard referencing style is the easiest form of referencing style. I will say that it is used in various disciplines, social science also, with an author-debt system. Then another one is the Chicago Manual of Style, used in humanities as well as the social sciences. Here, offering both a notes bibliography and the author-debt system. Apart from this, IIE referencing is there. So you may use, any form of referencing style according to the need of the institution. Means that, as I mentioned, the institution which you belong to may ask you or may advise you, to use a particular type of referencing style. Or any journal, will mention that a particular type of referencing style. So we have to follow it. So whenever you use any type of referencing style, so there should be consistency. You should use only one. Sometimes I find that in one chapter, MLA style is used. In another chapter, API style is used. No, it cannot be. Okay, it is wrong, I will say. Okay, so here let me give the example of here. Let me give you the differences between APA and MLA style, the similarity. Then I will show you the example. Okay, it's almost similar, right? In the APA style and MLA style also. Okay, so here, as far as APA is concerned, I'm just summing up. Okay, the citation format includes author's last name and the year of publication. Here's two. In text citation, MLA style, last name and page number in the MLA style. Okay, so reference list. So in both the cases, here alphabetically we have to write. In the text citation, brief citations are included in case of APA style. Then hanging ingredients. The first line of each reference entry is plus left, while subsequent lines are intended. So it is same in case of MLA style. Now, I'm showing you the example of the APA style. You can see, you can or find out, or you can refer, the different websites also in order to have more information. So examples of that is the APA, there is a 6th edition. So when we use the parenthetical citation, here I'm just giving you the example. We have two types of citations. Okay, one is parenthetical citation, another one is the narrative citation. So in this way, you can use while writing your report, and most of you have already done it. This I'm giving you just an example. Here, if DOI is available, you please use it. See, this is the APA. Here, when you use the volume and issue number, okay, this issue number is within bracket, and the title of the journal should be in the italic form. Okay, and as far as the book is concerned, the name of the book means the title of the book should be in the italic form. Okay, then if it is an edited, book chapter, okay, you have to mention whether it is edited or not. Okay, so like that, you have to do that. There are reports, okay, of the government, so you have to show like this. Okay, then if it is a PhD thesis, there are published and unpublished thesis. You know that. If it is a published thesis, then I just show one of my scholars' thesis here. Okay, if it is a published one, okay, in the Sudganga, then you can use that one. And if it is not published, so like this. Nitasi's thesis title is not with me. That's why I didn't mention Nitasri, Dr. Nitasri. Otherwise, I could have mentioned your thesis here. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. So next is the MLA style. So let me show this MLA style. Okay. Let me open this one. Open the link. Oh, some files. Okay, no issue.
Ma'am, did you hyperlink that?
Yeah.
Yes, so then you have to slideshow the PPT.
Yeah. Okay, I'm doing it allow this time. Just 1 minute. Okay. Yeah. It is not shown here. Can you see the hyperlink? No. Can you see the MLA?
And first you have to slideshow the PPT. Slideshow.
Oh, yeah, I'm just doing it. I'm doing it, that one. But it is not working. Let me go this one.
Ma'am, you can click on click as control and then
Yeah,
click style.
yeah, I'm doing it. Just 1 second. It is not working here. Okay. Just please give me just 1 second. Otherwise, we used to do it. Okay. Open the link. Yeah. Can you see now?
No, ma'am.
But here too it is shown in my computer, with all your, pictures, I can see. So anyway, let me, explain, right? It will be better. I think so. MLA style is also very easy, here, let me go there. The difference is that in the MLA style, the year of publication should be at the last. In case of APA styled, yeah, here too it is showing, In the APA styled, you see the year of publication. Okay, yeah, let me just say, right, without showing that. Hope you will agree with me. Okay, so in case of APA style, the year of publication is mentioned just after the author. But in case of MLA style, the year of publication is to be up at the end, just like, that entrepreneurship in Assam Hills, Balaji publication. So within bracket, that is 2021, like that. So it is there. You can see, you all of you are expert in using Google. So there you can just, I'm mentioning that, yes, MLA style can also be used as a referencing style. I find Hubbard style is the easiest style, I will say, from my, as far as my opinion is concerned. So now I'm just giving you the example of Hubbard style of, referencing, right? So here, newspapers article. Let me mention here, this is the newspapers article. Latest article means today's article. Okay, so how to write, here name of the newspaper is to be in the italic form. Then you have to write the page number. Then within, single inverted comma, you have to write the title of that, then journal. In this case, it is a little bit similar with the APA also. Okay, volume, issue number, then here page number. Okay, in case of books, there is no question of page number. In the journal, you have to mention the page number. So this is about the Hubbard style. So I'm so sorry that MLA style I couldn't show you. Okay. Now coming to the next one. So in text citation, so when and how to use. Am I audible, my dear participants?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, so we have 5 minutes. Okay, otherwise, other Nitasri Madam would be very angry because others, Nabal Kishore sir is going to, deliver the lecture in the next lecture, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah. So when and how to use the in-text citations is Madam from Kolkata had also asked about that, photos. Okay, here text citations, Madam. So you can enclose direct quotes in quotation marks and include the author, year, and page number. So I will request all of you to use your own words to express the source ideas uh, and include the author and year when we, use the text citations. At the meantime, provide a brief overview of the main points from the source, citing the author and year. So then my next is, I'm coming to the best practices for effective referencing. So this is the last but one slide, in my previous deliberation also I mentioned about consistency. So in the referencing, there should be always consistency. We have to use a single style of referencing, consistently throughout our work. Then there should be accuracy. It means you should double check all the citations, before submitting your work. Then whether you have mentioned all or you have include all the works that you had considered, there is a completeness. So whatever you have taken, any information, it may be from newspaper or it may be from government source, it may be from anywhere. So you have to mention. Then at the meantime, I would like to say that there should be clarity. So you please use, clear and a concise language in citation if you are, writing a report. Then this is the last one. Okay. You please understand the style guide. Okay. Whatever you do, please familiarize with the specific referencing style required. If it is a APA, please try to be familiarized. And you please take note carefully. Nowadays, too, you can use a computer. We are using, right? Okay. So you please record all necessary informations for citations use. And for citation management, nowadays, Zotero is there. You can use it. And the last one that I would like to say is that please read it thoroughly. Most of the time, we see so many mistakes, so it should not be. Okay, so these all are the things that I would like to share with you in a very simple way. I'm just sharing how to write a report and what are the different types of referencing style. So for details, you can visit the other websites and you may equip yourself. So thank you very much and best wishes. So then for few minutes, we can, if our organizing committee permits us. Over to Nitasri Madam and our organizing committee
Yes, ma'am.
members. Yeah.
Dear participants, do you have any question?
So let me stop sharing this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I think there are no questions. So
Okay.
thank you, ma'am. Actually, you have so nicely explained everything. You have so, beautifully explained the key components that must be there in a research report, as well as you have very beautifully explained the various referencing style, and you have suggested some key points also. I hope all the participants have noted down your important points. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your nice presentation.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, our Dr. Nitasri Madam. And I do not know whether our participants are listening or not. Okay, whether they feel angry with me or not. Okay,
No, ma'am, we are listening.
Ma'am,
Thank you so much, ma'am,
We are
for your
listening,
presentation.
ma'am, I have a question. Like, as you said, that you should follow a particular one type of format.
Yes.
So, is it throughout the thesis writing that we should follow any particular type of formatting?
Yes, madam. If you follow, suppose MLA, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to follow from chapter 1 to last chapter.
Okay.
And even when you write any journal article also. Okay, so please don't mix up. If it is APA, even in APA also 6 edition, different editions are there. So the journal policy is there. They mention it, so you have to follow it. Okay,
Okay,
and
ma'am.
it differs from one institution to another institution, right? Some
Okay.
institutions ask for Harvard, some institutions ask for APA, and
Mm-hmm.
some institutions,
नेहा
yeah.
जाओ
Okay,
वो
ma'am.
छोड़ करके कर दो
Thank you
बेटा
so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, Nawal Kishore
आवाज
sir,
क्यों नहीं आ
good
रही है बेटा
evening and namaste. So,
एक भी निकाल दो दूसरा भी हमारा
Uh,
yes, Saurabh sir. Yeah,
Thank you so much, ma'am.
yeah,
You have very simply explained us with the things what are to be taken care while writing a thesis or a report, and especially you have explained different styles of bibliography, which will be very beneficial for the young researcher. Thank you once again, ma'am, for
thank you
delivering the talk. Thank you, ma'am.
thank you. Okay, so you may proceed to the next session. So I may sign out, right? Okay.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, and convey my best regard to our Nawal Kishore sir. He has already joined. Okay. Uh, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
ma'am. Bye bye.
Thank
Good
you.
night, ma'am.
Good night. Good night.
Okay, then we can start, I think. So our esteemed resource person for the second session has already joined. So let's start. Welcome, sir, to the second session of the day of the 5 days of faculty development program on research methodology. Actually, I'm thankful to Professor Rajendra Prasad Das sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of KK Handicap State Open University, because it was through him only that I was able to reach Professor Nawal sir. So Nawal sir is a renowned personality in the academic field of commerce. So we are really fortunate that we have got this opportunity to interact with him through this virtual platform. Thank you, sir, for accepting our request. So without further delay, now I would like to request Dr. Hazarika kindly to introduce the resource person.
Thank you, Nitasri ma'am. Now I'm going to give a brief introduction of our next resource person, Professor Nawal Kishore sir. Professor Kishore sir has done his post-graduation and holds a PhD degree in commerce. He has been associated with Indira Gandhi National Open University for more than 3 decades, actively engaging in educational, research, and other scholarly pursuits. His research interest includes international banking management, international marketing, foreign trade, import and export procedures, retail management, organizational behavior, general management, commerce, and distance education. In terms of academic contributions, Sir has to his credit over 60 research papers in different national and international journals and has delivered more than 15 research presentations at prominent conferences. Professor Kishore sir has also served as a resource person for academic staff colleges at various universities and faculty development programs. Additionally, he is the former editor of the Indian Journal of Commerce and former editor of the Indian Journal of Open Learning. Among his several professional achievements to mention, in 2014, Sir was awarded a silver medal for presenting the second best research paper. We are glad to have him among us. So, may I please request Sir to kindly deliver his talk for the next session. Please, sir.
Okay, namaskar and a very good evening to all the participants. First of all, I am so thankful to IQAC team who invited me to interact with all of you. It is a matter of great pleasure for me as well. So now, as the topic is today about your research ethics, the thing is, whenever such topics comes, the first question arises that first let me see whether I have some PowerPoint also. Okay, so I have something. Look, see, when we think about the research, then the questions comes that what research is all about. You have been already struggling and doing a lot of work for the last 5 days to arrive at a conclusion that how to go for the research, how to carry out the research, how to arrive at some knowledge. So that you have been struggling. And usually in the research, people keep on struggling the whole throughout the life about the research to derive the new knowledge or to reach a consensus of the understanding of the knowledge. These two aspects are very important. Why this is very important, I'll tell you later on. First, you see once Galileo says that you cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him discover it within himself. Very great, this quotation is from Galileo. And Galileo says that it is very difficult to teach. That means answer is very simple, that I can't teach you, we can't teach you. What important aspect is here, that if I allow you, if I cooperate you, if I make you engage to discover something within yourself, I think that would be a great contribution toward the research. Same thing, you see, Einstein also says that learning is experience. Everything else is just information. You imagine that what learning is all about. Learning, when we say that the learning is a constructive change, in that case, it says that when you are yourself involved in finding out some solution, that is the learning. These are the very, what is called that these quotations are really eye-opening for all of us. And then in the same way, Napoleon says that imagination rules the world. Now you just think over that when you talk about the research, then it says that what is the lesson out of this? The first is that you need to discover something within yourself so that you can validate that. Second, it says that you need to engage in activity. You need to involve yourself in that activity, and that becomes the learning. And third thing is that the idea, because it says that idea is a billion-dollar question. Idea is a billion-dollar question. When the idea is a billion-dollar question, obviously it says that when you imagine, when you keep on thinking, when you keep on generating the idea, if the new idea comes up and if that idea is being validated, I think that is a great thing. Now another, once Confucius says that our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. This is recently, you must have heard the interview of Jack Ma. Jack Ma, you must be knowing that. Jack Ma, Alibaba. That means CEO of Alibaba, Jack Ma. He says that how the billion of the dollar he made a big empire across the globe, and he says that the greatest contribution of that billion of the dollar is that he kept on learning from his own failure. And now the last is about Socrates, who says that the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. Now, before we go to the ethics, what I would like to tell you about that actually the research when you are going to do the PhD, then have you ever thought that why you are going to do the PhD? Have you ever thought that what research is all about? I'll give you the simple example. That you have learned that the American stock market or European stock market is doing very well or is influencing Indian stock market. Very simple. Now, when you think over that the Western stock market is influencing the developing countries' stock market, now the question arises that when you go to the research perspective in this area, then what we are going to find here? The one thing is that when your proposition is that the Western stock market is influencing the stock market of India, or Indian stock market is influencing the stock market of the Southeast Asian nation, or vice versa. Suppose this is there, then what you are supposed to do in the research, that the first thing in the research is, see, all over the world, the research has three major components. First, you understand this. What is that major components? The first is that in the research, what you do, you innovate or discover the new knowledge. You innovate or discover the new knowledge. Now, it is a very difficult area, usually, particularly in the social science, to discover the new knowledge. For example, if the theory of demand is there, then theory of demand over a decades, what has been done that they have explored the theory, they have developed the theory, they have validated the theory across a wide number of the respondents, and then ultimately they have reached to the theory. For example, what the Newton's law of motion says that if you are just allowing to fall a ball and it jumps up also. So Newton, what he did, he discovered that, he innovated that. Now, obviously, in the social science, that innovation or discovery may be difficult. In that case, the second thing is there that when you are doing PhD or undergoing the research, then the second aspect is that addition or deletion in the new knowledge. Now, here what you are going to do that, suppose if some knowledge is there. For example, as I said you that let's say the theory of demand, what do you say that if the price rises, this demand falls, if the price falls, demand rises. This is the simple theory of what is called that demand. But you can think about this theory in some of the area where even if take one thing, then for example, when you listen to music. Now, when you listen one music, then the desire to listen second music will go up. Now, you just think over that in various areas, these may be the assumptions of the theory of the demand. So in that case, what you are going to do that, you are either going to add some knowledge in the theory of demand, or in some of the areas, you may put some limitations on that area. So there may be certain assumptions, there may be certain limitations, there may be certain challenges. Depending upon for example, if the income is more, so obviously how the theory of demand will be operational in that case. That's a matter of discussion from your side. So second aspect is this addition or deletion of knowledge. And the third is about interpretation and reinterpretation of existing knowledge. Please note down, these three are very, very important component of the research, which majority of us, they relegate most of this. As I said you, the third is interpretation and reinterpretation of the existing knowledge. For example, there is a knowledge that if the income is more, people may tend to buy more luxurious product. So if the income is more, people will buy more on the luxurious product. Now, if this phenomenon you are just thinking, or this is your proposition, then you want to prove this proposition. Now, this proposition may be proved based on the desire to save that income, desire to invest that income, or several other factors as well. So now what you are doing this knowledge in different circumstances, in different culture, you are going to apply this knowledge in a different way. Getting my point? So that means when you are going to do the PhD, you are going to write a thesis, you are going to get the degree of the PhD, you are going to do research in that area. Then the goal of your research, the objective of your research should be three things. The first is discovery of new knowledge. And I said this may be difficult for the social science. Then in that case, the second is addition or deletion of the existing knowledge. That means either you can add or delete that knowledge. And third is interpretation and reinterpretation of the existing knowledge. This means that if something has been proved in one culture, you may extend that phenomenon, you may extend that happenings in other culture as well. I think these things it must be clear to you about these three things. Once it is clear, then now if you see the Webster dictionary research is, then in that dictionary you will find that research refers a detailed study of a phenomenon. Research refers detailed study of the subject. And why this detailed study? Again, it says that to discover information first, or to reach a new understanding. So three things it says that. First is about you need to go into the deeper of the happenings. For example, the example which I gave you, that Western market is influencing Indian market, or Indian market is influencing the Western market. Now, when you are going to prove this phenomenon which is in your mind, so in order to prove that, what you do, you go to the detailed study of the Western market and detailed study of the Indian market and how they are going to influence each other. Once you go deeper in that area, and how you will go deeper into that area? Through the standard set of procedure. Through the standard set of procedure. That means this procedure must be a standardized procedure. So when you go for that market, when you have proposition, when you validate that proposition, then you have a new understanding in that particular area. I think this is clear to you. Now, hello?
Yes, sir.
So am I audible? You are getting
Yes, sir.
this?
Yes, sir.
You got the thing. So right now, till now, I have explained you three things, that when you are pursuing your PhD, your motto should be, your goal should be to discover new knowledge. Second, I said when the discovering of new knowledge is difficult, then you go for the addition or deletion of the existing knowledge, and you bring out that some new observation in that. And the third is about, even if that is not possible to you, then third, you need to go for interpretation and reinterpretation of existing knowledge. See, be very careful, because majority of the thesis, we do not find this, that okay, these are the happenings of the new knowledge or interpretation of it. If I evaluate the PhD thesis from abroad, very clear cut, they write 1, 2, 3, 4, and they ask us that what type of this thesis is. So therefore, when you are going to do the research, this must be clear to you first thing. Second thing I said you that research itself implies that you are going to discover new thing, new information, new knowledge, or you are going to have new understanding of the knowledge. So the example which I gave you, that Western world or Western market influence Indian market or vice versa. So now here you need to, whenever you are going to discover this knowledge, this understanding, and when you probe it through the set standardized procedure, that means you are able to find out certain things in your thesis. Simply what happens, if you go to the right thesis or doing that based on the survey, so that won't call the research. Whenever you are doing new things comes, then that will be your research. Okay, clear? Now see, whenever you are going to do the PhD work or research work, then there are certain errors in the decision. Now obviously, as I said you, that research is understanding of the new knowledge or discovery. Now you see the what errors usually you get when you are pursuing your PhD. The first error in the PhD is, and that is called overgeneralization. And this is really very, very pitiable situation in the research. Overgeneralization means that you simply conducted a research in Guwahati and you are saying that those who are small persons, they are intelligent. Now, how can you say that the small persons are intelligent or long persons are not intelligent, or long-eyed persons are intelligent and smart or not? How can you say that long age may be what is called introvert and smart may be extrovert? Try to understand it. Because what you are doing in the research, based on that, what is that 300, 400, 500 respondents you have. And based on that respondents, you are going to tell that if you have this much of the income, you will be buying this much of the products. What is all these things? This is called overgeneralization. Mind it, that's why all the time in any of the theories you read, you go through that theory, what do you find? That there are assumptions in that, there are limitations in that, and based on that assumptions and limitations, they say that these are their theory. So whenever you are arriving at any of the conclusion, don't jump into the overgeneralization of that conclusion. Second is about selective observation. Now the selective observation means that what you are going to do, that in a selected way you are taking the decisions. What is that in the selected way taking the decision? That simply you have some preconceived ideas and you are trying that your preconceived idea should match the actual situation. Because simple things, if you say that those who are overweight people, they are very friendly people. How many overweight people you studied there? I think 100, 200, and based on the 100 overweight people, how can you say that they are friendly or unfriendly? Because any of the, if you see the research of the good, or even if you see that, why do you say that your questionnaire must be tested, pre-tested? So then we tell that, okay, this is the standard questions. Because that testing is on the wide range of the respondents. So therefore, the second issue in the research is your selective observation. Third is your about premature closure. Premature closure means what you do that whatever evidence, see, you have some proposition. Now whatever evidence you get it, and on the basis of that evidence you close your research, that okay, based on this much evidence you are telling that okay, on the basis of this income, what is called that Guwahati city people are more buying oriented people. They buy more, they go more for the shopping. But what is your what is called the validation for that? So here what happens, that whenever you are pursuing the research, then you keep on generating, proving, acquiring, validating the observation. It should not be premature closure based on certain idea. And the fourth is your, which is called halo effect. Now the halo effect means that you believe that okay, if that some report is by some creditable organization, by the good organization. For example, if you read about from the Harvard Business School, from the Cambridge, or from IIT, from IIM, or from the leading institutions, you immediately believe that, okay, this report is very good. Okay, that report may be good, but when you are going to pursue the PhD degree, when you are going to go for your own research, based on that, you need to prove your research. So the halo effect means that based on certain idea that okay, this is very good, that is very good, and you also in the research, you mind it, research always say that whatever proposition you are able to derived from existing knowledge, that very proposition requires to be validated, tested, and once that comes to true, that becomes your research work. So therefore you need to think over about the halo effect. That means even if you get the report, even if you get the news in some of the good news channel, you need to validate those news as such. And the fifth is your false consensus. In the false consensus, what you think that your views, that okay, whatever you feel, you think that majority of the people might also be feeling in the same way. So this is a false consensus. That means simple way that if you feel that you have more money, you are going to shopping there. And you feel that others also might be tempted to do that. So others might be tempted to that may or may not be true, because others, if they have the surplus money, they may go for saving of that money, they may go for investment of that money, or they may go for the any other area for the use of that money, rather than only going to shopping, going to movie, whatever. So your feeling that okay, if you have more money, you go for the what is called the shopping, may or may not be true with the other people. So here in the false consensus, whatever you think and other things, that may or may not be true. Now come to that. You have already done about, as I said you, that about the So now let us come to that. I think you have process of the research you must have done earlier, but only I would like to just recapitulate your area. See, when you go for the PhD work, then in the PhD work, the first thing is there, that deciding what you wanted to do. I think most of you must be doing right now the coursework. Now the first thing for you is to decide the title. That means to decide that what you are going to do. Now the thing is how you are going to decide that. So now how you are going to decide that, that maybe it must be clear to you that either you are going to work in finance, marketing, operations, general management, accounting, whatever. So broad area is clear to you. Now the second aspect is there, whatever area you wanted to pursue, that easiest way is that you go and read at least 100, 200 research paper, which research paper published in ABCD or Scopus or Web of Science, etc., etc. That means in the leading journals. So the first thing is there that you need to go for the review of literature. Before the review of literature, as I said you, that when the research comes into your mind, first thing should be questioning yourself. Questioning yourself, that means, for example, suppose you are going to for the impulsive buying. Let's say that influence of that impulsive buying. Now, if you are going to what type of the people they go for the, let's say, the personality, influence of the personality on the what is called the impulsive buying. Now the thing is that what type of people will go for the impulsive buying. Now there is a book called that People Watching. Now Desmond Morris has written that book, and Desmond Morris has analyzed in that book that activities being conducted, carried out by the human being, that can also be predicted. That means that can be predicted through the gesture, that can be predicted through the movement, that can be predicted through all those informal, formal activities, whatever. So Desmond Morris says that it can be predicted. So now the question is, when you are going to do the research, then the first thing should be very clear in your mind, that question yourself. That okay, what exactly you are going to do there. If you have right questions in a right direction, the second aspect is exploration of the information. Now, the exploration of the information means that whatever information is available, what you are going to do, that you are going to critically examine those information. Now, how we are going to critically examine the information? That means whatever the reports are there, whatever the existing research work is there, whatever the existing publications in the journal in terms of research papers are there, you need to go through deeply in that. Now the thing is, how will you go through that? For that purpose, you will study later on that how to go for the review of the literature. But here I'll suggest you the simple things, that whenever you are going for the review of literature, what you are supposed to make an Excel sheet in your laptop. In the Excel sheet, what you are supposed to, suppose you have read, let's say the Harvard Business School, that research paper, we say that emotional buying. That means emotionally, what is the impact of emotion on the buying behavior? Simple. So if the Harvard Business Review has done that, there must be some author. So what you will be doing, you make a table or chart there. In the first row, what you will be doing, that first row you will write the author, second row you will write the year, third row you will write the research paper, whatever is there, fourth row you write the research methodology, next row you write the validation, and last row you make the remarks. So whenever you are doing that second aspect, that means exploration of the information based on your questions, so that information can be collected in this way. That means in a tabular format, you are doing, and how you are doing in the tabular format? As per requirement. That means the first column would be the what is called the author's name. The second column would be the what is called that year. The third column would be the name of the research work. Fourth column would be the research methodology, where you need to highlight all the variables, and the next column would be the validation techniques or outcome or result, and then last will be your remark. That remarks will be for your own use. See, this you must do very, very carefully and seriously, because majority of us do not do proper examination and evaluation of the existing work. Why it is essential? Because this gives you direction that till date what has been already researched in that area, right now what is going on in the area, and in future what will be going, in what direction it would be going. So all three things you have to keep into the mind, and this is called exploration. Once you have explored the information, then the third aspect is after the exploration, to write down your own objectives of that work. That means what you are going to do here. In the objective systems, in the objective section, there are three important things. Jot down, please. Mind it, majority of us, we do not write objectives in the protocol way for the thesis. Majority of us. Now the thing is that objectives would be based on your existing examination of the knowledge. Now there are three things which must be there in writing of your objectives of your own thesis. What are those three things? The first thing is that identification of the variables. The first thing is in the objectives, that is the any research work, if you are going to write the objectives for your own thesis, the first thing is that identification of the variables. Clear? Second thing in the objectives are written, establishment of relationship among variables. So the first is identification of variables. Second is establishment of relationship among or between the variables. And third is to analyze the impact of one variables on others. And the fourth would be that the role of mediation or moderation variable. Mind is these 3-4 things must be there in your objectives. The rule of writing of the objective is you must write the objective of your own thesis in the action word. Quote and unquote action word. Because mostly what students they do that to study this, to understand this, these are the passive word. The active word is, for example, that earlier I gave you the example that your title is influence of Western market, the influence of the behavior of Western market on the Indian market, or vice versa. So suppose one title is influence of this on influence of income on the buying behavior. Simple. If this is your title. If title is this, then what you will do, how you are going to formulate your own objectives of your research work? The first objective would be to identify the variables influencing buying behavior. The second objective would be to establish the relationship of whatever you are studying buying behavior, one variable to other. The third will be to analyze the impact of the income on the buying behavior. And the fourth objective would be to analyze the role of or mediating or moderating role of GDP on the buying behavior. So these three or four areas must be there in the objectives. And this way of writing the objectives is known as active writing of objectives. Note down majority of the thesis, hundreds of the thesis, we go through that, and most of the researchers, they do not follow this way of writing the objectives. So clear? Now, once you have written the objectives, the next is about your propositions. Propositions means that how you are trying to, now because already you have done that existing research, that is literature review. When you have done the literature review, you have also identified the gaps of that. So once you have identified the gaps of your own research work, so now the gaps are clear to you. So what you will be doing, that you will be developing your own propositions. Propositions means in the simple term, what you are trying to do, that you are trying to develop your own research methodology and hypothesis related to that. And when you are just trying to analyze your research methodology, here you need to have the important area, and that area is your research design. In the research design, what and how you are going to do that, detail you do, how sample would be there, how, what is called that, the way that people will be responding to you, how people will be, whatever people respond to you, how that valid would be that response. So all those things in the detailed, what is called that research design, you go when you are deriving the proposition. And after the proposition, what you do, that the next aspect is your, either you survey, that is survey would be based on your questionnaire, or you go for the observation, or you go for the experimentation. So experimentation, obviously most of the experimentation take place in the area of the science. But in the social science also, some of the things you do it, and how you can do it, you can go have that, let's say if you are going to do that, the influence of what is called the teaching on the learning process. That means whether teacher is teaching and then you are understanding more, or if you are learning and then you understand more. So both the things you can take the one control group and one experimenter, that is the experiment group. So one control group is as it is, and the experiment group you are just maneuvering that, you are just doing that, providing that experiment to whatever you are teaching them, learning them. So there may be again two group. One group would be your that whom you are teaching through, that teacher is teaching. Another group you may have where the self learning is there. So now when you compare both the things, and then you derive some knowledge that, okay, which group learns more? Either the self-learning group or the teacher-taught group, which group learns more? So that may be the experiment, or there may be the survey. Majority of us in the social science, we go for the survey. What do we do in the survey? We prepare a questionnaire. Now the thing is, when you questionnaire, you develop or prepare the questionnaire, then you must be very, very careful that never go for double barrel questions. because the most important aspect of the questionnaire is there that majority of the research scholars, they prepare the questionnaire, and in their questionnaire they also ask the double barrel questions. What does double barrel means? That suppose you are asking somebody that why do you buy this, or the questions may be you are buying because the quality is high and price is low. Price is high, quality is low. That means two things you are information you are trying to gather from one person in one question. That should not be there, because that leads to the controversial and conflicting aspect to the respondents. Because in the when you are going to the survey, then one very important aspect of the survey is there, that questionnaire we design. That's why you go for the pilot testing of the questionnaire in the beginning itself, that whether that questionnaire is as you expected. So what you do, you go for the pilot test study and all that testing and all that, so that you derive on the conclusion that your questionnaire is up to the mark. Because whenever the standard questionnaire is there, you may have, suppose, the books also on the survey. There is a book on the survey, there is a book on the questionnaire also. So marketing research, some of the area you can get it, like in others also, that how to formulate questions for your own questionnaire. So there you need to be very, very careful also. Once you have this surveying and all that, then the next aspect is about your validation of your proposition. Now, what do you do in the validation? See, validation, as I said you, that influence of Western market on the Indian market. Now, the validation would be if you are going to study in the stock market, you have to see that what area you are going to include in your study. That means there are well established modeling for the behavior of the stock market. Now, whether you are going to adopt that modeling, and which modeling, that is, in a better way you can say that what statistical tools you are going to apply to for validation of those assumptions whatever you have made it. So the validations means, obviously, it must be validated on a standard set of procedures. Note down that a standard set of procedures is very important for you, because that's why we always say that your instrument must be reliable and valid. Most of the time you use this word, that your instrument must be reliable and valid. Now the question arises, what this reliability and validity is. See, reliability in simple terms, that if you are measuring anything, let's say, if that is, let's say, 1 meter, then the second time also you measure, it should be 1 meter, third time also it should be. Whenever you are measuring the result, you get the same result. That means if you are getting the same result, that indicates that your instrument is reliable. Now the validation means that your instrument measures the same thing which it is expected to measure. Now, for example, you are preparing a question paper. Now, when you are preparing the question paper of physics, and the language is very difficult in that question itself. Now, when the language is very difficult, then are you trying to measure, or test the physical aspect, or you are going to test the what is called difficulty level of the language. You have to test the physical aspect when you are taking the case of the physics. You are not going to test there the language difficulty level of the language, and if the language is very difficult, again your instrument won't be validated. So again, mind it here, because most of the time when we ask a student that whether your instrument is valid or not, they may or may not be able to respond there. So here you read in detail that how this validation is ensured. And mind it, validation means your instrument is measuring the same thing for which it has been developed or prepared to measure. Clear? Now, when you have validated your result, so now it is the time that when you concluded your result. That means, okay, yes, Western market is influencing Indian. Now, the next is about which is very important, and majority of the researcher, they do not focus on this area, and that is the implications of your study. Now, once the results are validated, then the implications means that based on your research, how the stakeholders would be benefited based on your research. So mind it, in the implications also, majority of the researchers, they write, okay, these are the theoretical, these are the practical, these are the... So don't write the implications like that. Implications must be linked and substantiated with the results which you have already validated. That means based on your validated result, you have to go for the implications for the stakeholders. These are the broad process of the research. Now let us come to a little bit about the ethical aspect of the research, because this is a class of the business what is called the research ethics. Now simple ethics, we start from the Western dictionary, and that says the ethics, because the time is less, so it says simple, that it's a doctrine of morality. First, that means it is a set of moral principles. And second is about principles of conduct. And third is about the consciousness of moral importance. So that means ethical means morality. That means you don't write anything on the fake data. You don't write anything on the manipulated data. You don't write anything which you have not absorbed it. You don't write anything which you have not noticed it. That means it is highly associated with the integrity of your work. Because if it is not there, across the board, your research won't be fruitful and it may be biased one. Now, let us come to integrity. One thing you should be clear here about, that US National Institute of Health research integrity include, they have given in 2019 grants in NIH.government. So first is about use of honest and verifiable methods. Your things must be observed, because whenever you are going to collect the data, your data must be honest one, which should be verifiable by your counterpart, maybe by your supervisor, maybe by your what is called the peer team. The second is whenever the research, what is called the results are there, that must follow the guidelines for which research is undertaken, regulations, guidelines, etc. And the third is that professional codes or norms, professional codes of norms is that suppose you are going to do some experiment, you are cutting that what is called that some animals, or you are doing something which may be unethical sort of the thing. So for that purpose, you need to take the permission. For example, when you are using your questionnaire in the social science, now when you are using the questionnaire which has been developed by somebody, it is your pious duty to take permission from them, whatever you are doing there. Now, something we'll do, because we don't have now time, hardly 1 or 2 minutes are there. So what are the values underlying research integrity? So the first is about ethics. Second is about the rigor. Your process of rigor must be in detail. The third is about relevance, that what for you are doing the research, whether for the stakeholder, whether for yourself, whether for the organization, whether for the market, what for you are doing that. Next is transparency. Whatever you are doing must be transparent. Transparent means objectively, people can see there, people can watch there, people can verify there. Next is about respect. That you must respect in the sense that if you are going to use the data of any of the company, then obviously that data must be used with the approval of that company, or that data should not be misused. Or even you are collecting the data, you say that this data is used only for academic purpose. Impartiality. There should not be any partiality in the research work. Next is about independence. Whatever you thought, your thought processing should not be the biased one. Next is about accountable. Whenever you are doing the research, you are also accountable for that. So broadly in the selection criteria, we have already discussed innovation, discovery of knowledge. We have already discussed broadly review of literature. We have already discussed gap identification. We have discussed the objectives. We have discussed theoretical foundation, hypothesis, research methodology, then analysis, then implications. Most of the things we have already discussed. Because time is less, so I would like to conclude here. That means, but the takeaway of this is there, that in your research, things must be there: new knowledge, addition or deletion of the knowledge, or interpretation and reinterpretation of knowledge. It must be there. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. It was really a very informative session where you have explained the meaning of research and different processes which are involved in research. And also you have explained about research ethics, which is the basic pillar of research. Thank you, sir. I am sure that the participants are quite benefited from your talk. Now, I would like to request our participants to please put forward any queries or doubts to sir. Is there any questions?
Yes, unmute yourself.
Dear participants, do you have any questions? I think there are no questions.
I think that's better for them if they have understood, nothing like that.
Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful presentation. You have so nicely explained everything in a very short time. You have explained the 3 key questions that as a researcher we must know. How to, what research is all about, how to carry out research, and the importance of interpretations and reinterpretations of existing knowledge, as well as you have also mentioned certain issues that we encounter while doing research. And very effectively, you have explained the research process also. And lastly, you have explained very beautifully the concept of research ethics and the ethical principles also that being a researcher we must follow. Thank you very much, sir, for your nice presentation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Namaskar. God bless all of you. Okay.
Thank you, sir. I hope we will have the opportunity to interact with you again in the future, sir. So moving forward, along with Professor Chanu ma'am and Professor Nawal sir, I also would like to take this opportunity to extend my vote of thanks to all the resource person of previous sessions again. Professor Parag Sil sir from the Department of Commerce, Professor Arup Burman sir from the Department of Business Administration, Professor Dibojyoti Bhattacharya sir from the Department of Statistics. All of them were from Assam University, Silchar. Next, I would like to propose a vote of thanks to resource person Dr. Koshikishore Phukon sir, faculty member of Information Technology of PDUAMT Lungia, and Dibjyoti Kolita sir, faculty member of Library and Information Science of Cotton University. Next, I would like to convey my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to all the participants for their active participation and choosing our organization for this program. So thank you very much, my dear participants. Next, I'm also thankful to our principal in charge, Dr. Pranjal Morang sir, for giving me the permission to organize this program. And I'm also thankful to him for his guidance. Further to say, I extend my vote of thanks to all the moderators and other members of organizing committee. My special thanks are also for the technical support team members, Mr. Manoranjan Gogoi, HOD of Department of Economics, Mr. Shamaresh Nandi, former HOD of Department of Management, Mr. Saurabh Bhattacharya from the Botany Department. Next, but not the least, I would like to extend my thanks to all my esteemed fellow colleagues for their support and cooperation. Thanks to all to support me and the IQAC. My best regards to all and best wishes to all the participants to their research journey. With this, now I would like to request the moderator of today's session kindly to proceed with the further formalities. Mr. Saurabh?
Thank you, Nitasri ma'am. Now we are moving towards the valedictory session. Now, I request among the participants to kindly share their experience or suggestions regarding this program. First of all, I request Dr. Nilakshi Sharma, librarian, Government Model College, Day-05, Karbi Anglong, to share her thought.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Yes. Thank you. First of all, I would like to congratulate all the team members of the Pandit Dindayal Upadhyay Adarsh Mahavidyalaya Tulungia for organizing this event successfully. And thank you for the opportunity to share my experience. It was very nice to be a part of this this program, and everything was very nicely conducted, and all the topics that covered in this program was very fruitful, and it helped us. It will be helpful in our future, and I like to appreciate the timing of the program because it was very 6 to 8 p.m. was very effective for all of us since we all are working. And thank you. This much is from my side, and thank you for the opportunity. And again, I'd like to congratulate you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Petrusha Chattopadhyay, who is a research scholar pursuing PhD in Public System, Social Welfare and Management from IISWBM, Kolkata, West Bengal. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor for me to give a feedback for 5 days FDP program. And I want to thank the organizing committee, IQAC, PDUAMT, that I've been invited to give some comments on the FDP program that have been conducted by you. Like this 5 days program was very comprehensive and exhaustive, definitely. And we as the research scholars, we came to know and the various deliberations from very renowned professors from the renowned universities, of course, and gather knowledge and information on various topics. And this would definitely enrich us for our future reference, for our project proposals and other thesis preparation, etc. And it was really very joyful learning. It was not very rigorous, but it was very joyful learning. And with the PPTs and discussions, deliberations were in very simple and simple language, and they were presented in a very lucid manner, I think, for all of us. And it was also very, a student-friendly kind of what I felt from my side. And like the online platforms are really so good enough that we, for as working people, we are able to connect with all other friends and colleagues from all over the country, of course, and we really get to know each other, the views and thoughts of various universities, colleagues, and students, of course, and really enrich ourselves. And in future. I would not say that my suggestion, but what I think or I look forward to from the university, of course, that the workshops or seminars should be conducted like this, or on a particular topic, or on a particular aspect, so that we can get some more coverage on a particular topic. We are able to learn a lot more from that. So I think that will be very helpful and beneficial for our endeavors, future endeavors. And I would like to thank the organizing committee again, and Nitoshri Madam, of course, who is the convener of the entire program, and all other moderators, professors from the university. So thank you all. Jai Bharat. Jai India.
Thank you, Pratisha.
Thank you, Madam. Now I request Nayani Saikia, who is an alumna of PDUAMT Tulungia, to share her experience regarding this 5-day program. Hello.
Saurabh, please proceed.
I now request Banani Das ma'am, who is a librarian of Dimoria College, Khetri, to share her thought.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to convey my heartfelt thanks to the Internal Quality Assessment Cell of Pandit Deendayal Upadhyay Adarsh Mahavidyalaya Tulungia for conducting this 5-day online faculty development program. For me, it was really a great learning experience, and it covers all the facets of research, like from the definition to the various aspects like literature review, and the formulation of hypothesis, questionnaire design, data analysis, and also the ethics of research. So all the sessions are really informative, and the time management is also very appreciative. And I would like to specially mention 2 sessions which greatly benefited me. One is designing and questionnaire by Dr. Dibjyoti Kolita sir, and another one is the data analysis tools and techniques by Professor Dibbajyoti Bhattacharjee sir. So I would like to look forward for many such initiative from PDUAMT Tulungia in near future, which actually serves the need of the scholar community. So thank you so much for conducting this online faculty development program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam, for your valuable feedbacks. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Now we are moving to Dr. Swati Nabomi Aideo, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, North Guwahati College, to share her experience.
Good evening, everyone. At the very first place, I would like to express my my heartfelt and sincere gratitude to the organizing committee of PDUAMT Tulungia for conducting this 5-day faculty development program. The sessions were indeed very good throughout and was highly beneficial. And I'm pretty sure the young researchers would be very much benefited from the talks that have been going through these 5 days. Hoping to have many more such events at your end. Thank you once again.
Thank you, madam. As we have come to the end of this 5-day faculty development program, I would like to thank all our participants from different institutions who have attended this program, and hopefully you must be benefited from the talks delivered during different sessions. Now I request all the participants to please switch on your camera so that we can have a group photograph.
Mr. Manoranjan, do the needful.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Everyone smile, please. Okay, done. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Please don't leave. Now we'll share the assessment link. And please remember, this will remain be open till 10 p.m. only today. Live stream of this, Nityananda Bormon, do you have any question? Okay, thank you to all. Good night.